Hey guys, for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can make a quick and easy bat statement wall in your home using just some scissors, black paper, some tape, and a pencil. Now, to get started, all you're going to need is just these few things, okay? It really is that simple. Now, these are the bats that I've made from my bat wall. I've used them for years and years and years and years, so they're a little bit, beaten up, but I've got a large one and a small one. I like making two sizes because it actually kind of gives more depth and dimension to your wall, and also looks a bit more, realistic, because some are larger and they look closer to you and some are smaller and look further away, so they look more, I guess, like a flock. What do you call a group of bats? I have no idea, but it looks more like a real group of bats. So I actually looked online for some simple bat shapes, and then I just kind of, winged it basically whenever I drew these out. But what you can do is you can actually go online to a Google search and just ask Google for, a basic bat line drawing or a bat silhouette, and you can print that out and then use that as your template. But today I'm going to show you how I made these guys. Now, for the larger bat, what you're going to do is you're actually going to fold your 8.5 by 11 paper hamburger style. Now, for those of you guys that remember this from kindergarten, that means you're going to fold it on the long side, okay? Now, if you want, you can kind of burnish this edge here to make it nice and flat, but these actually don't have to be perfect, okay? Now, once you've printed out your bat template, you can actually fold it in half and then trace out that template onto your page, okay? And so what I did is I made one and then I traced it on all of my pages. But what I wanted to show you guys is that this is just a really simple shape, okay? So you're going to make kind of like an ear, but it's going to swoop from the top of the head. So it's going to be a little bit rounded. It's going to go down and then up. So these are actually the same height, okay? It's going to come up, swoop down, and then the wing style you can do however you want. I just did kind of one little swoop here and then another one here, and it makes a point. Now, when you open this up, it doesn't look 100% like a bat, and this one I feel looks even less like a bat. But again, we're just going for the general shape, and that way, when you look at it from a distance, it actually looks like bats. Now, you can see here that I actually have folds as well. We'll get to that in just a moment. So I'm going to fold my paper hamburger style. I'm going to line up my template, and then I'm going to just trace around. Now, when you do this hamburger style, you can actually fit 2 large bats on this, okay? Now, for the smaller bats, you're going to fold it hot dog style. And for those of you guys that didn't have this in kindergarten, that means folding it on the short side. Okay? Fold it in half. Fold my template in half. And when I do this, I can actually get 4 smaller bats to fit here, okay? And again, I'm just going to trace around it. Now, once I've got that all traced out, and look, you'll see here that I didn't even fold my paper 100% perfect, but the thing is, it doesn't matter, because once I cut this out, none of these edges, you won't even know, okay? I'm gonna cut my bat out here. Alright, so I have my basic bat shape. okay? Now when you put this guy on the wall, what you want to do is you want to put your tape here so that his wings are extended out away from the wall. So if this is the wall, this is how we want to attach him. So he does have a bend here. So what I like to do sometimes is I like to put the tape, maybe not right here, but kind of on the side here, so that he is still kind of like, if this were my wall, he's still attached, but he's still, you know, dimensional. And then what I also like to do is I like to make a fold from this top point here to here, and again, it's not going to be perfect, okay, and that's actually okay. We're gonna fold it in the opposite direction of our other fold, and again, just wing it, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna do that on the other side as well. Okay, so now he looks like our bat in flight. Now, even though you have folded him this way, whenever you start putting them up on the wall, you may discover that it actually looks better for you to fold this back the other way, depending on how they're attached to the wall. So don't be afraid to actually go and kind of play around with it once you get them up there. Now I'm gonna insert a clip here of me putting them up on the wall. And what you're gonna see is that I'm going to space them out so that when I first start, they're kind of down below and there's going to be fewer of them. Kind of think of how like a flock of birds would fly. You know, you're going to have more kind of grouped together, and then you're going to have a few stragglers towards the front of the group and towards the end of the group. So I like to start kind of lower down on the wall with just a few, and then build up to there's a larger group, and then at the very top, again, you're going to have fewer bats grouped together. And all I'm doing here is taking some tape and looping it around. You could use double-sided tape if you want, but I find that just kind of looping the tape around and sticking it to the wall is really kind of the best method here. Now, depending on where you live, I live in Houston and it gets humid, so occasionally one or two of them will fall off. I also have cats, so I expect a couple of these guys to take a hit and not make it to next year, and that's fine. But again, remember, they're just pieces of paper and they're easy to recreate in a pinch. So I always like to make quite a few, and then if I have some extras left over, then you know, they're there in case some of the ones that are on the wall fall off and get torn up. All right, so I hope you guys can use this simple tutorial to create some really, you know, dynamic and interesting decor in your own home with very little effort. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos, and I hope that you'll continue to come back every day during October to see a new DIY, and I'll see you in the next video.